please give a warm welcome to Mandy Smith.
Okay, so I work for a company called Museum Insider, and what we do is we find different types of information for vendors within the museum and cultural space. We find them RFPs and leads, sector news, and we also track opportunities, which are large capital campaigns and projects around the world. Currently, we're tracking about 900 of these projects, and these are different types of visited cultural attractions, anything from arts and cultural museums to historical homes, science museums, zoos and aquariums, any kind of visited experience within that cultural market. My team is mostly located in the UK and Europe. I'm the only person in the US. I'm based out of California. And more often, I'm getting on calls with my colleagues, and they're saying, "Hey, Mandy, how's it going over there in the United States? How you doing?" And it's been a rough year, I have to admit. So I find myself oftentimes perusing through our opportunities and daydreaming about travel to different areas and being inspired by their creativity and their messaging as well as their design. It just really makes me feel better. And I was realizing this is the opposite of doom scrolling. This is something different. And there's actually a term for it. It's called Gleefreshing. So for the next 14 slides, you and I are all going to Gleefresh together. Starting with the Eames Institute of Infinite Curiosity. This is going to be a design museum holding Charles and Ray Eames' collection. Architects Herzog and Demirin and EHDD are leading up the transformation of the former Birkenstocks campus. The Holocaust Museum in LA, this is the oldest museum founded by Holocaust survivors in the United States. The expansion will increase attendance from 65 to 500,000 visitors a year, welcoming 150 school students each year, 150,000. The Lowrider Museum in Espanola, New Mexico. This is the lowrider capital of the world. They have annual parades and festivals that all the residents of the community pull together, and now they're gonna have a permanent facility for the celebration. This is Larry Callis. He used to be a country western singer. He's always been a black cowboy. And he's expanding the existing museum into a brand new facility which will commemorate black cowboys and address their lack of representation in history. The Obama Presidential Center. This will be the first all-digital presidential library. The foundation has digitized 300 million pages of unclassified papers, which are going to be available in the museum, but also online for all of us to look at. The Chaco Project was once the second largest slave market in the United States. These 10 acres will be converted into a cultural center dedicated to enslaved individuals with contemplative green spaces and memorials throughout the property. The former home of the Declaration of Independence signer Francis Lightfoot Lee. I just thought this looked really cool. The glass structure is going to be a new way of preserving historical landmark, and it'll allow you a different way of peering into this historical home. Speaking of historical homes, Edgar Allan Poe lived here from 1833 to 35. The museum is expanding. The project is tied to a larger regeneration project of Baltimore's first public housing development aimed at revitalizing the neighborhood. Farmer Hammerstein wrote The Sound of Music, and The King of I is being restored to a museum. This barn is going to be converted to an education center where young theater artists can hone their singing, dancing, and acting skills. The Children's Museum in Manhattan. It's going to be relocating. They're converting a church located on Central Park West. By doubling the museum's capacity, they're going to be able to offer more programs to a broader age range of more kiddos. This is going to be the first museum dedicated to climate change in the United States. It's also located in New York City near the new Hudson complex. The key mission of this museum is to empower visitors to see their own agency with climate action. Now, moving outside of the US to Canada, the design of this museum is inspired by the movement of the snow and wind-formed patterns. Inuit people use these patterns as a natural wayfinding. The center will honor ancestral belongings and the cultural legacy of the Inuit community. Another cultural center in Senegal. This is going to showcase repatriated African art. It's also going to hold repatriated objects for museums yet to be built all throughout Africa and bring art to a community that previously did not have access to museums. And finally, the whale. This is north of the Arctic Circle. The main focus is marine life, especially whale migration, and their intersection with mythology, art, and society in Norway. And that's it, folks. Thank you so much for Gleefreshing with me. I hope this gives you hope about creativity and resilience and how it can guide us forward. And I'm done. Yay! Woo!
Give it up for Mandy Smith.